Hello friends, today we are going to start with part 2 of history chapter number 1, a period of transition. So let's start with it. Industrial Revolution. There was an increase in the volume of trade. The domestic system of production was artisans collected the raw material from the merchants, they made the goods at their home and supplied the finished goods back to the merchants. But this system was very slow and it could not meet the growing demands of the market. So, a strong need for a new system of production was felt. This gave rise to the factory system of production in the 18th century. Rich merchants set up factories, installed new invented machinery, bought raw materials from the market, and employed workers on wages to produce goods on machines. This development is known as Industrial Revolution. It is called as a revolution because it marked a radical change from domestic system of production. Why England? Why did the Industrial Revolution begin in England? What was the reason? First, abundant supply of coal and iron needed for industrialization. See, coal was needed for running the machinery and iron was the base product for making many things, as well as iron was needed for machinery. A stable government that encouraged trade and commerce, and thus the British traders and merchants were at liberty to trade as they liked. With the abolition of serfdom, large number of people became free. So, what was serfdom? Serfdom was a system in which the peasants were forced to provide labor services to their landlord in exchange for being allowed to occupy the land. So, with the abolition of serfdom system, many people became free, and so they moved towards cities in search of work. And in cities, the labor became very cheap. Rapid colonization enabled England to get cheap raw materials from the countries it colonized. Colonization means what? Colonization means occupation of one country by another, which leads to political, economic, cultural, and social changes in the country which it is subjugated. Means like India was subjugated by or colonized by British people, and they ruled in India for over more than 200 years. So British people had colonized India. Uh, these colonies served as markets for the finished goods, and they also provided raw materials. Scientific inquiry, improved transport system helped England become the first industrialized nation. Impact of industrialization. The first and foremost impact of industrialization was rise of capitalism. So, industrialization led to the decline of feudalism. So, what was feudalism? In the middle period, there was a system in which the land of entire kingdom was owned by the kings. However, what the king would do, he would give some land to the lords or the nobles who would in return fight for them and support them whenever the king needed them. That was the system of feudalism. With the decline of this, industrialization led to the decline of feudalism in Europe. Then a new system in which the means of productions were privately owned and operated for a profit. It was called as capitalism. So emergence of next impact of industrialization was emergence of new social classes. So there were two new social classes that came up. First one was that of the factory owners, whose aim was only to earn the profit, and they controlled the capital or the money and were called as capitalists. And the other class that came up were the workers who worked in the factories and received wages for their labor. Emergence of towns and cities. Capitalists set up factories and installed the machines. People working at home could not compete with the factory made goods, so they had to go and work in the factories. Thus, with industrialization, people were forced to shift from villages to cities. Industrial towns and cities such as Manchester and Liverpool emerged. Manchester developed as an international center of textile industry and was therefore called as Cottonopolis of the world. Last impact was growth of imperialism. Industrialized countries of Europe faced two crucial problems. First problem was it needed cheap raw material to manufacture the goods, and second, it also wanted to find markets for its finished goods. So this was achieved by political domination of less developed countries. Establishment of colonies in Asia, Africa, and America by the European countries helped to sustain industrialization. What is imperialism? Imperialism is a policy of extending political and economic control over weak country by a powerful one. It is same as India was captured by British people and they controlled everything in India. This phenomenon gained strength in 19th century due to industrial revolution. Europeans not only needed cheap raw material but also wanted a market for their finished goods. This led to them to acquire colonies in Asia and Africa as they were rich in natural resources but militarily weak. By the beginning of the 20th century, the whole of non-industrialized world had come under the control of few industrialized countries. Belgium, France, Britain, Spain were the main colonial powers, and the countries that were colonized were Asia, Africa, and America. What was the impact of imperialism? See, colonists exploited the colonies economically. They never thought for the welfare of the colony. They always just exploited it to the maximum extent. Local industries of the colonized countries were completely destroyed. Colonies were treated as mere suppliers of raw materials, and no efforts were taken to industrialize the colonies because they knew if they industrialize the colonies, the growth of the country will increase, their growth will increase, so they will become superior, and so they never wanted the colonies to industrialize. Agriculture too was modified to suit the requirements of the imperialistic countries. In India, only cash crops fetched high price in the market were encouraged. India suffered evils of British imperialism. What were the major inventions during the Industrial Revolution? James Hargreaves' spinning jenny, Richard Arkwright's water frame, Samuel Crompton's spinning mule, Edmund Cartwright's power loom, John Kay's flying shuttle, Lancashire and Yorkshire emerged as the main centers for textile industry, steam engine by James Watt, George Stephen's steam-powered locomotive, invention of seed drill and horse hoe improved agricultural productivity. Thank you for watching. Like, share and comment. Be independent, be confident. Hope you like the video. Bye.